Okay, now this is probably the last video where we will look at a specific module in the free voltage modular, and then we'll get on to other things, musical examples, things like that. But this is going to be about this sequencer. Now this is the free sequencer, and we're just coming from the CV output into the oscillator. Now a sequencer, let's just put these back. When you open the sequencer, it'll come like this. Now the steps of the sequencer advancing there, but we're just hearing one note because these are all set like this. Now if we move the sliders, you'll hear so that's the basic. We could make a basic tune or a bass line or a kind of arpeggio. Now another common thing we could do is we could, let me take, let's do this. Sorry, my brain is working very slowly. Today, it's actually my birthday today. Not that that's okay. So here. Okay, so you can see some of the things we can do with the sequencer. Now we could also obviously we can combine these things. We could have pitch and okay, so that's a very simple. This is a very simple sequencer. You can get sequencers where we have separate outputs for each step. That's very useful. Okay, so now we've talked about a lot of different ways of making sounds. We can use LFOs. We can use an LFO into a quantizer. We can use a sequencer. What else have we talked about? Sample and hold. So there's a lot of different ways of generating pitch, CV, or note information. Now, if we want to if we want to use multiple sequences, this is just one more tip here. If we want these to start and stop at the same time, which you'll see they don't at the moment, what we can do is add a switch now. Okay, so this is a switch. It doesn't come with the free voltage modular core, I think it's called, but it is a free switch. So you go onto the Cherry Audio store and search modules, switches. There's a number of free switches you can get. So what we can do here is we could take this and put it in the start, and we could put this in the stop, and stop. Now we'll put all these back to step 1. Now when we press this button, you see they've all started at the same time. Now when we turn this button off, you'll see they still start, because that's just sent a trigger to the start. And now we press stop and they all stop. Oh, hang on. They're set at different rates, obviously. Yes, I set these at different rates before. But if you make sure these are set to the same rate, they will stay synchronized. But that's just to show how we can start and stop a bunch of these at once. Okay, so this is just a quick example of what we can do with a bunch of basically all the modules we've looked at so far. This is just an example of a rudimentary drum machine. Let's here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so all we're really doing is we're using some white noise. We're using a sequencer for the hi-hat sound, a sequencer for the kick drum sound, and it's just very simply, for example, the hi-hat is just, let's see, there it is. So this is this sequencer gate out into an envelope generator. Envelope generator into an amp into mixer. Kick drum is just a oscillator, and it has an envelope making that frequency okay, pretty simple. Now the snare drum is some white noise, and also that another oscillator with some frequency and envelope, some envelope modulation. So mix those together, and then a sort of cymbal-y sound is just some white noise with a longer envelope. So that's a basic way we can use some of the modules we've looked at so far, particularly the sequencer. And of course you can get dedicated drum sequencers which are easier to use in that you can run all of these drums off of one sequencer. But you can see there's a lot you can do with just the voltage modular core. So have fun with all of that.